Hey there, ladies and gents. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to add DynamicBone to your avatars for VRChat. Now, this will get your bones moving as far as wavy hair, wavy clothes, such things like that. So, if you're interested in learning how to do this, stay tuned. Okay, before we get started, I just want to give you guys and girls a heads up to let you guys know that this tutorial will only be focusing on DynamicBone. If you want to learn how to get started and do other things and get a full detailed tutorial on showing you how to upload and disseminate and do all that other type of good stuff with your avatars, you can click the card right in the top hand corner of the screen right now. In this way, you'll be able to learn how to cover the full basics of everything that you need to know when uploading an avatar into VRChat. So there's also other tutorials there that'll show you how to do other things specifically with your avatars or MMDs in VRChat as well. So I'm just letting you guys know that this tutorial will only be covering the basics of DynamicBone and showing you how to get started with that. So now that that's out of the way, we can continue. Alright, so what you'll be needing for this is DynamicBone. You'll need your avatar, of course, and the VRCSDK in order to upload your avatar into VRChat. So I've left the VRCSDK package for you all if you want to use that, if you're having problems with your VRCSDK and getting error messages with that or something like it. But you can use that. That's down in the links in the description. Also, I've left the DynamicBone in the links in the description as well, so you can get that because you'll be needing that to add to your avatar. Once you've downloaded that and that's done, you'll need to open a new Unity project. So open up a new Unity project and then open up Unity and add your VRC SDK. To use the one that I have, you just need to select both the VRC SDK and the plugin and drag it down into the assets area. Wait for it to load up and you're finished there. So, and then also you'll need to add your DynamicBone in the same area and you're finished. And of course, add your avatar. Once you've done that, you're all finished. And as you can see here, I have all of my components that I need for adding DynamicBone to whatever avatar I would want to. And as you can see, I already have things set up and I have my avatar here in the window and it's already preset. So if you have an avatar, just drag it down there and get it into the assets area and drag it into the left side of the hierarchy in the left side of the screen, and it will appear in the center of the scene window like you see here. So after we add our avatar to the hierarchy, here on the left side of the screen, we'll see a little arrow that's to the left or just to the left of the avatar. You're going to click that little arrow, then it's going to drop down. And you're going to drop it down till you get to the place of where you want to add the DynamicBone. So let's click down. Okay, let's go through. And okay, here is our skirt. So we're going to add DynamicBone to our skirt first. Okay, first, before we continue, what I have done for you guys, specifically in this case tutorial, since I would have no idea or no way of knowing what you guys would have in a specific avatar and what meshes you would be using and what to point out specifically for you as an individual using your very own avatar. It's not possible for me to do that because I wouldn't know what you're using. So what I've done is, for you to be able to follow along specifically with this tutorial, is I've left a distinct exact model, exactly what I'm using here for this tutorial for you guys down in the links in the description, so that you can follow along step by step, just to get the grasp of how to add it, how to do it, etc. You can use whatever you want afterwards, but just so that you guys can follow along specifically with this particular tutorial just so that you can get the hang of adding DynamicBone and following along to see how to do it exactly so you can feel comfortable when moving on to your next avatar. I've left an exact duplicate of this avatar for you guys to download down in the links in the description so you can follow along specifically with this tutorial. Alright, let's continue. So what we want to do, and this is simple, this is the way I do it, haven't had any problems doing it this way, and it works, and it saves you the time of adding DynamicBone to each and every component individually. You can just combine it and then add it to one. So what you want to do is you want to select all of the skirt components. And to do this, you're going to click Control and then you're going to left click on each of them. But do not highlight the first skirt component because you're going to be dragging that into the first one, combining it into one. So you're going to highlight all of them besides the first one. After you've highlighted all of them, then you're going to drag the highlighted components into the first skirt component. And then it's going to ask you, do you want to do this? And then you're going to hit continue. And now you have a combined mesh and it works just fine. Everything's still there, just combining it into one. So this makes it easier so you don't have to add DynamicBone to each and every single component each and every time you're trying to add DynamicBone to multiple mesh units. So just keep this in mind for future DynamicBone projects that you're going to be adding to, which you will, because you'll be probably adding this to every avatar unless you don't want to do that or something. Anyways, once you've done that, you want to select the skirt mesh at the top. You can close it up with the little arrow. And once you've done this, then you're going to highlight your skirt and then you're going to go over to the right side of the screen and you're going to add a component. So you're going to type DY and then that's going to be your DynamicBone. And then you're going to select DynamicBone and you're pretty much finished here. As you can see, we have our shiftness, our inlet, our elasticity, and dampening. So the one we're going to be focusing on right now, since this is just a basic tutorial, is our dampening. But you can go through all four of these. All four of these components will get your DynamicBone exactly the way you want it. So you can just mess around with those numbers and get them however you want. And then you'll be all set if you want it a specific way. But this is just a basic tutorial, pretty quick and simple way showing you how to add it and set it up. So this is pretty quick. This is just the basics. But you can just mess around with these numbers and get it to a perfect point of movement when you move, in whatever case you may be using for your avatar. Now, I will leave some examples of what you could use in order to have it be perfect, like dampening and your inlet, your shiftness, etc. So I'll leave some of that down in the description, but you can play around with these numbers and get them how you would like for yourself. But I'll just leave that for you just in case you might want an example of what you should use rather than messing around with it yourself. Okay, so like I said, right now I'm only going to be focusing on a dampening. So let's move the dampening number here. So that's 0.1. So let's move this up to 0.6. Okay, and we're done. So now what we want to do is we want to go back over to the left side of the screen. And then we want to select our skirt again. We're going to highlight our skirt. Remember the top one. So only the top one, the one that has all of the children, because this is the parents now because it's been combined. And we're going to take that and we're going to drag it over into the root for the DynamicBone so that it has been added to our avatar. So we're going to take it, we're going to left click on it, and we're going to drag it over into the root here, and then you're finished. You've added your DynamicBone. It's as simple as that. So to test this, what we want to do is we're going to go all the way back up to the top of our hierarchy, and then we're going to select our main avatar. So what all of your bones are connected to, we're going to select the very top mesh, and that's the main avatar. And then we're going to click the play button here. So you're going to click the play button at the top. And then after you do that, remember, make sure you selected the avatar in the top here, and then we're going to drag it left and right. or whatever way you want to drag it. And as you can see, it is working. The skirt is moving and you've accomplished the task. So you're pretty much done with that. It's pretty simple. So let's go through a little bit more of the hierarchy and the skeleton here or armature and add some more dynamic bone. Okay, so we found our hair. Let's add it to that. Let's combine it. Let's add our dynamic bone on the right side here. So DY, add dynamic bone. Okay, 0.6 or whatever for dampening. And there, that's added. So now we got to drag it into the root like we did before. And then we're done. We've now added our dynamic bone to our avatar. So we're pretty much set. That's pretty much it for this avatar. It's pretty simple. There's other stuff there, but these are some of the main components. If you want to go further in depth, like tassels and stuff like that, I'm sure there's more you could add, but this is just a simple tutorial. Once again, just showing you guys how to do it. So now that I've added the components to my avatar that I want to add my dynamic bone to, so the only thing we have to do is upload it now into VRChat to see if it's working. So let's go into VRChat and test it out. So open VRChat and go to test your avatar to see if you've added the dynamic bone and to see if we're successful. And as you can see, we've added our dynamic bone. And of course, as you can see, I forgot to change it to humanoid. So make sure you change it to humanoid. But as you can see, the dynamic bone is there and it works. So that pretty much wraps things up for this tutorial. I hope it was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, make sure to leave your comments down below in the comment section and I'll get to them when I can. Also, if this tutorial was helpful for you, make sure to leave a like. Also, leave a like if you want to help out the channel and help me to bring you more tutorials and videos like these. Anyways, guys and gals, I'll see you next time. And I hope you all enjoy adding the new component, dynamic bone, to your avatars. Take care. Later. See you all next time.